Hey team, welcome back to another On the Couch with My Food Religion. Today I have the pleasure of having a chat with Alex from iHealth Saunas. So you guys will have seen on the gram and on Facebook that I recently purchased a sauna for my 40th birthday that is coming up. So happy birthday to me. I have been wanting a sauna for a really long time, and a couple of good friends of mine got the iHealth sauna one and they were really happy with it. So after much deliberation, looking at lots of different brands, I decided to invest in that one, and I love it. I've been in it every single day, and it's awesome.
Yes.
It's awesome. So, Alex, before we start, I like to start with some really hard-hitting questions.
Cool.
So, I would like to know, what did you have for breakfast?
Well, I actually just ate breakfast, and it was a bowl of yellow kiwi fruit.
Oh, yum. How good are kiwi fruits at the moment?
Just like citrus in general for the past like 3-4 months. So good. Like we've been getting just amazing organic oranges, organic blood oranges, organic mandarins. Just so good at the moment. And obviously the yellow kiwis, you can't really get them organic, but the kiwis are good too. It's very good citrus season.
Citrus. I mean, that's pretty much the only good thing to come out of winter is citrus.
I agree.
Yeah, get me the heat back and the summer, but also leave the ruby grapefruits and the blood oranges.
Yeah. Grapefruits took me a while to get into, but you're right. I was lucky enough to move up to the Sunshine Coast at the end of last year. So this year was my first year out of Melbourne, and I was like, you kind of don't really get winter up here. So I don't have so much of the cold either, which is nice.
Yeah. But Queenslanders, it gets below 20 degrees and we're all putting jumpers on and acting like we're about to go to the snow. So.
This is true.
Absolutely. So can you please introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about who you are and why saunas?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Alex Tyson. I run a health and wellness business called iHealth Saunas. We specialize in infrared saunas with a focus to helping our clients take their health to a high level. So that gives you a bit of an inkling as to why saunas, because for me, it's not just about sauna or whatever health product it is. For me, it's about helping people achieve high levels of health and therefore experiencing the most that life has to offer. Now, I got involved with the saunas because my parents actually started the business like over a decade ago, and I saw that we were really helping people. I didn't want to get involved because we were making people sweat and like that whole thing. It was what we were really helping people achieve, which was these high levels of health, and that's what I'm passionate about. So for me, I started getting healthy in my early 20s, and right into fasting and eating fruits and getting sunshine and getting all the fundamentals met in our health, because I saw through cleansing and going through those experiences how much my life was elevated, and I want to be able to share that with others. And so at iHealth Saunas, we provide an amazing sauna, but then it's also about providing health education. That for me is what my true passion is inspiring others to be healthy, and that's why we do what we do.
So when you were a kid, your parents were running this sauna business?
Yeah.
Were you a sauna kid? Did you like getting in the sauna? Because since I've got mine, G is in there every day. She's just, every day she comes home from school, can I have a sauna? Okay, if you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I was not like that, if I'm honest. Like I think I was about 15 when we started with the saunas, and my mum was always into natural health. So she was always lecturing me about filtered water and Alex, eat this salad at lunchtime. And I'm like, Mum, I want KFC, but she was planting all these seeds, which later bloomed in my life. Thank you so much, Mum, for that. But in the early days, I wasn't into sauna heaps. And over time, I started to use it more and really understand it and see how powerful it was. And it was probably around my kind of late teens when I really started getting into sauna more.
Yeah, awesome. So how often would you say you would use a sauna now?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's about 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I've been through phases where I was using it every day for like a month. And yeah, at the moment, it's about 3 times a week.
Yeah, that's me. I'm in like all of the days. Give me every day. I even want to rig my iPad up outside the sauna so I can Bluetooth Yellowstone through the sauna and watch a episode of Yellowstone while I'm in there. so that I'm really maximizing time efficiency.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, saunas, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, but it's such an amazing place where you can go and you can detox, through sweating. You get a cardiovascular workout, but it's also 30 minutes to yourself, and maybe you use that time to meditate, or maybe you use it to watch Yellowstone or to watch whatever it is, something on YouTube, like it's just 30 minutes for you. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and I'm really loving the ability to Bluetooth as well, because I love to listen to a podcast. Like I love to just sit in there, put a podcast on and just chill as well, which is really helpful because I think I've used a lot of infrared saunas. And most of the time it's like you can't take your phone in there because your phone's probably going to blow up because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
But then you kind of like put your phone outside on speaker so you can listen to something.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that well at all.
Yeah.
So I love that functionality that you guys have built into there.
Mm.
So for people who are new to sauna in general, I think a lot of people, when they think about sauna, they probably think about like the traditional Finnish sauna where you've got hot rocks, you put water on there, steam comes up, and that sort of sauna. So I know there's a lot of science and a lot of studies that have been done into the benefits of sauna in general, and most of them are done with that sort of style of Finnish sauna, and they've got huge benefits for longevity and just health in general. But could you explain to people what the differences with an infrared is versus like a hot rock sauna or even just a steam room?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, we're all pretty familiar with the traditional steam sauna. So you put the water on the rocks, that creates the steam, and then the steam heats the body. So it's not the most efficient way at heating the body, and the heat really only creates a surface sweat. That's because of the nature of the actual steam. The moisture has to come into contact with the skin to be able to transfer that heat. So that heat can't actually go in very deeply. It's not very efficient, and that's why the steam saunas and the steam rooms traditionally have to be very hot to be able to transfer that heat onto the body. Compare that with an infrared sauna. So the infrared uses a very specific wavelength of infrared, which interacts with the body directly. So the heat penetrates, up to 40 mil down into the skin, down to the subcutaneous layer of the skin, which we can talk a bit more about later why that's important. And so we're being heated more deeply, creating a cardiovascular workout on the body. And because we're being heated more deeply, it doesn't have to go as hot. So a traditional steam sauna can be anywhere from 80, 90, 100 degrees. I've been in a steam sauna at like 110 once, nearly died. And an infrared sauna is more like between 45 and 60 degrees. So what that feels like, because we're being heated more deeply, people feel like we're being heated from the inside out. That's not actually what's happening. It's just the heat's going in more deeply, and so we don't have to go as hot. So we come out feeling invigorated out of an infrared sauna compared with coming out feeling like we've been run over by a bus. So the main difference is how the heat gets transferred into the body. Because the infrared penetrates more deeply, it's then more efficient. That's why they're quite cheap to run. And yeah, we just come out feeling good, and it's a comfortable experience whilst we're in there, right? So we can still get them pretty hot. We can still potentially activate some heat shock proteins. We're still getting a cardiovascular workout. It's just a different experience. People find it's more comfortable.
Definitely. So that would be something I would absolutely say to people who find a normal steam sauna too uncomfortable. Often the humidity in there, people will find it really hard to breathe properly. And they can't stay in for very long because they find it a bit claustrophobic almost.
Yeah.
I think with an infrared, it doesn't feel like that at all because the room around you is not necessarily hot. Like when G hops into the sauna, she has the door open. So it's not getting hot. The actual atmosphere in there is not getting hot, but she's still getting exposed to that red light therapy without, creating a cracking sweat on her. And she sits there with her iPad and does her, reading eggs and schoolwork.
Yeah.
But she's not having that whole, I can't breathe, it's too hot sort of feeling. So I think that's a really big difference for people who don't like a normal steam sauna. Infrared's a really different experience in that it's not difficult to breathe. It's not a humid environment, and it doesn't feel that level of discomfort that I think a lot of people would associate with a steam sauna. And I mean,
yeah.
I get a pretty aggressive sweat on. Like there's times where I'll sit in there and I am literally dripping like from every single spot. I am
Yeah.
But I'm not at that point where I'm like, I'm so uncomfortable, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, totally. it's funny, like people often say, yeah, I was in there for like 15, 20 minutes and I wasn't sweating so much. And then I got to 25 minutes and I've never sweat out of my left butt cheek in that spot before. Like it's just, it comes out of everywhere, right? Because again,
Yeah.
you're being heated more deeply and over time you sweat from deeper within the skin as well. And it's amazing how much you can really sweat in an infrared sauna without it being super, super hot. I mean, sometimes I go in there sometimes quite low, like 45 degrees. I might go 50 minutes. I put the red color light on. It's the end of the day, balance the circadian rhythm, have a real calming session. And after 25 minutes, I'm sweating from everywhere. Like, and it's not even super hot. It doesn't always have to be like 60 degrees and really pumping to really get that deep, like it's hard to explain sometimes. It's like you just get this deep warmth and you sweat from everywhere. And that's what's so relaxing, gets us into that parasympathetic nervous system state and that calm state. But our body's working. It just feels beautiful.
Absolutely. And I just feel like your skin just feels incredible. Like there's nothing, your skin feels so clean after such a beautiful sweat. You get that beautiful glow. Your skin feels amazing. It's such a lovely feeling.
Totally. And just to riff on that as well, like having a sauna and then coming out and doing a body scrub or even doing a dry brush before you hop in. We have 4 channels of elimination. The skin is one of them. And to be able to open that up fully in the sauna and get the impurities out, pull hydration through what is most often the case, not very well hydrated skin. Do that a few times, like 3 times a week, like you're doing over a few weeks. People start to notice my skin's more vibrant. It's more supple. It just looks better, So it's a cool thing.
So, okay, what is infrared light? This isn't the same jam that's in your microwave? Like what's going on? Tell me about infrared.
So if we could get just a little bit sciencey to answer this question. So
love it.
The sun, which I was just sitting in gloriously, the sun has the full spectrum of light, right? Let's say it's from here to here. The sun emits everything, full spectrum of light. So that's gamma rays, radio waves, X waves, visible light, X-rays, sorry, not X waves. Visible light is just a tiny part of the sun spectrum. That's what we see, right? And then if we keep going through visible light, we get to infrared light. Through there, we get UV, and then we get radio waves towards the other end of the spectrum, right? So that's the full spectrum. Infrared is just a tiny, tiny part of the sun spectrum. That's the part that it penetrates deeply within the body. However, it's not too energetic where it just goes through the body, which can be like a gamma ray, for example. But it's also not the harmful part of light like UV or like radio waves. Like we don't want those things going through our body, right?
Yeah.
So infrared's just very specific. It's the 7 to 10 micron wavelength of light. That's what far infrared is. And infrared, the full spectrum is from about 0.7 to 10 microns.
Yeah. So your full spectrum sauna, which is the one that I got a 2-person full spectrum, and we'll get you to talk about the different variety of saunas that you guys have.
Sure.
So it's a full spectrum. What does that mean?
Yeah. So it means of that spectrum that I was just talking about, if we just then expand it out, infrared, within infrared, there's 3 different kinds of infrared. There's near, mid, and far infrared. And so a full spectrum heater, which is what you have in your sauna, and I have the same sauna just on the other side of that wall, you're getting the full spectrum, so near, mid, far infrared light. In that sauna, you're also getting a bit of red light as well as part of that red light therapy. That's why you can actually see the red light coming off, because that part of that red light is visible to the human eye, whereas infrared is invisible. We can't see it.
Yeah. So on our side panels that are covered, we can't see the red light because there's no actual red light therapy going on there. But our back panels and our front panels, we can actually see that red light.
Yeah.
What are the different benefits of the near, mid, and far infrared? So if someone was not to get a full spectrum sauna and they would just get one of those components, what do each of those components serve benefit for?
Yeah, absolutely. So the important piece to note here is that what are the reasons most people are wanting to use infrared sauna? Because they want to help with pain management. They want to maybe help calm themselves down, get them into a parasympathetic state, help with sleep. Maybe they want to help with detox. Any good quality infrared sauna is going to do that. pending that they have the right wavelengths, right? Far infrared is what infrared sauna has been for the last, over a decade, right? And that's like, you're going to get those benefits from a far infrared sauna, or any infrared sauna if it has full spectrum, great. And that's where a lot of the science that is out there on infrared is on far infrared. Recently, there's been a lot of science come out on the benefits of near infrared. That's to do with more cellular health, so cell mitochondrial efficiency, collagen production in the skin, reduction in inflammatory markers within the body. So there's some associated extra benefits with near infrared and red light on top of far infrared. Now, is it like 200% better? No, like it's an extra like cream on the top. If you're going to get amazing benefits with any infrared sauna, whether it's be far infrared, full spectrum, but the full spectrum just has some added physiological benefits there.
Yeah, awesome. So what are some of the benefits in general of an infrared sauna?
Yeah. So our clients typically come to us to reduce pain, lose weight, sleep better, help with detox. On a real fundamental level, what's the main thing that's happening in the sauna? We're getting the body working, like it's getting hot. The body's going, okay, it's hot now. I need to cool down. So it starts to activate its heat response system. That's an increase in cardiovascular output, right? So whether you're looking at infrared sauna or even traditional sauna, you're getting cardiovascular work. And that for me is actually the real basis of what's happening. So you're getting oxygen-rich blood into the joints, into the muscles. Through that increased cardiovascular work, that's where we start to see some pain relief comes in, right? Infrared's been shown to reduce inflammatory markers. So people find that they use the sauna 3 or more times a week, I typically recommend, and they start to notice that chronic lower back pain is getting a little bit better. In fact, because of the nature of it being a cardiovascular workout, we often have people who come in with pain, have a 30-minute sauna, come out, and they're like, oh, like I've got some movement back, this is amazing. And when we used to, our business in the old days, we used to go and do events, and we would have people come in and try the saunas in person. And oftentimes people would choose to purchase because they felt better after 20 minutes, right? Yeah. So now it's not always like that, right? There's no magic bullet in health, as you know. But yeah, those are kind of the main things. So we're getting cardiovascular workout happening. Pain relief is coming through as part of that. Sauna, infrared, because infrared sauna is not going too intense like a steam sauna, it's putting us into a state of parasympathetic nervous system, so rest and digest. That's why people feel calm after having a sauna, and they come out feeling invigorated. Sorry, my thing's gone nuts here. They come out feeling invigorated and in a good frame of mind, not like they've been stressed because they've been in a really, really hot sauna. So that parasympathetic, I mention that a lot because in today's world, we are stressed and we don't even realize it, and being able to go somewhere, have a sweat and come out not in that fight or flight mode, but in that calm mode, we can then go about engaging with our children without wanting to rip their heads off, or we can go and have a beautiful conversation with our partner instead of maybe being edgy after a day at work. So that's an important piece for me, which often doesn't get spoken about in infrared sauna world.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talk around detox for infrared sauna. So the way I actually came to even try an infrared sauna probably 10 years ago was that I had heavy metal toxicity. Mm-hmm. And my naturopath had suggested, along with, all of the disgusting herbs that I was taking, that an infrared sauna would be a really great way to help detox heavy metals.
Yeah. Is that a thing? Yeah. So my understanding of how the body works, the body's pretty intelligent. And so every day we come into contact with toxins, heavy metals, parabens. Basically, can we swear on this channel?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Basically, shit that our body didn't want inside goes inside. And our body says, how do I get this shit out? Right. And I use that language because that's the world we live in, and it's unfortunate.
And but our body actually don't shit it out because they're constipated.
Yes, thank you. I mean, let's yeah, they're eating the wrong foods. They're backed up and they're wondering why they're getting headaches and brain fog. And anyway, we should do a whole nother podcast on that. But and so our body can only assimilate. It can only get rid of a certain amount of these toxins every single day. And it gets to a point where it says, like, there's too much. I need to do something to be able to store some of this. And so one of the ways it does that is it wraps those toxins in fat and stores them in our subcutaneous layer. This explains often why when people do fasting and they lose a lot of weight, they actually have all these symptoms come up, because their body's eating away at their stores, and then these toxins get pulled back into the system for the kidneys to excrete through the urine. And so they have all these detox symptoms come up. So
welcome to keto flu.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or I do a lot of fasting, and yeah, especially in the early days when I was getting rid of a lot of toxicity, like I just feel like shit all the time, you know, but that's part of the process. So anyway, our body wraps these heavy metals toxins in fat. The infrared penetrates deeply. You know, I talked earlier about the subcutaneous layer. That's where it stores these heavy metals and toxins. The infrared penetrates into that layer, and then we start to sweat from that layer of the skin. So we're actually sweating these heavy metals and these toxins out through the skin. As we said, one of the 4 main channels of elimination is the skin. So that's why infrared is always talked about from a detox perspective as being really, really powerful. Because we can pull some of these toxins out instead of them having to be drawn back through the system and then go through the kidneys, which might be overworked. Maybe our liver's functioning not properly, so the kidneys can't do their thing. So that's why sometimes fasting isn't necessarily the best for some people. Infrared's a great way to reduce that toxic burden on the body without it going back into the system.
Yeah, and realistically, our skin is our largest organ of detoxification. And to think about, to actually get a really good sweat on, how hard people would have to work at the gym or doing exercise or anything like that to get that amount of sweat and, remove that amount of toxin from your body would be a really hard job.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you would know, you'd mentioned people are backed up, right? But people also don't sweat. You know, it's almost frowned upon in our culture to sweat and to smell. It's like, well, you smell because you're full of shit, but sweating is good. We need to sweat, you know, and every day preferably, and not just like a little bit here, but this full body sweat we get from infrared sauna. That's the real sweating. That's the real work.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked a little bit about some of the skin benefits of sauna. I'm turning 40 next week.
I wouldn't have guessed.
It's all the collagen. Sauna. But I'm definitely interested in, natural ways to just age well, to look after my skin, to look after my body in general.
Yeah.
But particularly, the skin benefits. I love getting out of the sauna, and I just love how my skin feels. Like, it just feels so clean. It feels hydrated. It feels so great. So can you talk a little bit about some of the skin benefits from infrared?
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, it comes back to what's actually happening in the sauna, right? So when we're in the sauna, we're getting hot, we're opening up the skin, and we're sweating, which is pulling hydration through the skin. So through that process, we're actually pulling impurities out of the skin, like on a surface level. You know, I used to have like blackheads and things around here, and I just don't have that now because through sweating all the time, I'm able to open up these pores and get this stuff out, right? So for me, it's around using the organ. The infrared makes us use this skin organ in a way where it opens up. We're pulling hydration through. There have been some science around collagen production in the skin and a few other things to do with, I'm not a skin expert, so like fibroblasts and these kind of things. There is some science around that, which is really cool. So there's that as well. So it's really just using the skin and some of the way that the infrared interacts with the skin on a cellular level as well can help with the quality of the skin overall.
Yeah, I've read some really interesting stuff around, obviously it's just helping to kind of get all those impurities out of the skin, but around scarring and things like that, just helping with that tissue. Does somebody need to, if someone particularly wanted to use it to help target scarring, as benefits, do they need to be facing a light panel for that to happen? Or are they going to, just by naturally sitting in the sauna, be exposed to enough of that infrared light?
Great question. I would definitely say, if especially on your face, and I've been caught in the sauna just like with my eyes closed with the panel like here, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I would recommend getting close to the panels, right? The closer you are, the more penetration of heat you'll get. That's important. So, I would get close to the panels. If it's scarring on your face, or maybe you want to get some of that near infrared to help with collagen production on the face. Yeah, I would actually close your eyes, because we don't want the near infrared going into the eyes too much. Close your eyes and get nice and close for 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max. And that way you're going to be maximizing the benefits. And that also goes for anything. You know, if you're jumping in the sauna and you've got a bung hip, or like a twinge nerve or something, get that up nice and close to the panel. You'll feel the heat gets in there a lot more than if you're just sitting in the middle of the sauna away from everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned earlier that the temperatures of the infrareds that you guys have goes from 45 degrees up to, I think, 65.
Yeah, depending on the location, you can push it to 70, but I mean, 65 is pretty bloody hot.
Yeah. So what a general question I got a lot when I mentioned this is, what temperature do you use it at, and for how long?
Yeah, so general rule of thumb is 30 to 45 minutes between 45 and 55 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And now I give a window because everyone's cardiovascular fitness and just general tolerance for heat, it varies, right? And so for me, it actually comes back to this idea of work. How hard are we working when we're in the sauna? And by that, I mean, how much am I breathing? Does it feel really freaking hot right now? Or is this pretty comfortable? Right? Because some people get in there at 45 and that is enough. Like they're working hard, you know? Whereas other people can sit in there comfortably at 60 and that's like, oh, is this it? Like, can we go hotter? Right? So it's that case of work. That's why I give a window. And the reason that's important is we talk a lot about using the sauna at different temperatures, different times for different sessions, right? And so, for example, let's say I'm comfortable in the sauna at 50 degrees for 30 minutes. Like, sit in there, it's a good sweat, I come out feeling good, I don't push myself too hard, that's awesome. Now, if I want to do an evening session, like I mentioned earlier, now I don't want to work my body quite so hard, because otherwise I'm going to come out feeling super stimulated and then try and go to bed, right? It's not going to work. So I'll actually go 5 degrees less and I'll go a little bit longer. So my body's not working as hard, but I'm in that soothing space for just a little bit longer than normal. And then I come out feeling more relaxed. Compared with if I'm like doing a 5K run in the morning and then I want to jump in the sauna and just like pump it for 20 minutes. I'll get in there, I'll do 60 degrees for 20 minutes after a run, and I'll go and jump in an ice bath or in the cold pool or in the ocean, right? And like get that shock into the body. That's a very stimulating experience, right? And so then after that, I'm like ready to go about my day with energy. I wouldn't do that in the evening. And so those temperatures depend on where my kind of baseline is at.
Yeah. And I think I was reading somewhere too that, we're all going to start sweating at different points. And that could be different every single day. It could be different if you've been on the piss last night. It could be you have had enough water, haven't had enough water. All of those sorts of things are going to vary the time it takes your body to actually start sweating. But I was reading that I think when you start sweating, you want to try and stay in for another 15 or 20 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the ultimate goal of having the sauna is to sweat, right? Yeah. So although you can use it differently to that, you want to be sweating for kind of 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere in there, you know. Yeah. To give you an example, I did a long water fast recently. I did 21 days. And coming out of that, my body was regulating its heat quite differently. And it actually, the first time I jumped back in the sauna, it took me ages to sweat. Like it took me like 50 minutes to get a sweat going on. And so by the time I actually broke a sweat, to be honest, I'd had enough. I was like, whatever, like I'm done sitting in here. But then the next couple times it did still take a while. And so once I started sweating, then I adjusted the time and said, all right, I want to be in here for another 20 minutes now that my body's actually working and doing its thing. So yeah, really good point.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys have a range of saunas available. Could you go through what some of those are?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main three ranges, we have what's called a light range, a premium range, and a full spectrum range. And was that a dog? Nice. I was like, that's just a fluffy thing going on there.
Throwing dogs.
Love it. So the main thing to consider when looking actually at any of our saunas is they're all going to help deliver what you want in terms of sauna experience. It's just a matter of really how comfortable you want to be, what features you want within the sauna, and whether you want full spectrum or whether you just want far infrared, right?
Yeah.
So all the saunas are going to deliver that end outcome ultimately for you. So our light sauna is just like no frills, no fuss, just beautiful, simple sauna. That's it. Hop in, have a sweat, hop out. You've got a light in the roof. You've got carbon heaters, far infrared. Great. Then we have our premium range, which is really, for me, sauna it's a ritual. It's something we do multiple times a week. The premium sauna is the most comfortable, just like cocoon sauna. You've got color therapy. You've got essential oils. You've got two movable heaters to target specific areas like your knees or your feet. Yeah. And it's a really beautiful place to be. You're really encased. You get more of that traditional sauna experience because there's so much timber. And then you have the full spectrum range, which is kind of like you're in a spaceship, like heaps of glass, looks super sexy. You get all the features of the premium range, and you also get the full spectrum heaters, which is obviously the latest tech. So those are kind of the main three. Then we have a barrel sauna, which goes outside. It can get completely rained on. And then we have a little sliding sauna for people who need to make it smaller when they're not using it in their apartments.
That's so cool. So one of the things, my partner Jono is like super pedantic about things being like well built. He's really anyway. I remember the first time he got in the sauna, he was just like looking at. He's like, "This is so well built."
Yes.
This is. He's like, "Do you know this is such good quality?" And he's in there looking at all the joins of the wood, and he was all over it. And he's like, these are very good saunas. I was like, well, mate, we've already bought it, so it's hey. Like if it was shit, now's a bit late to be telling you. But yes, he was super impressed with the quality. So a lot of people did ask whether you can put your sauna outside. So the only ones you guys got that are specifically for outside are the barrel ones, aren't they?
Yeah, you can put the premium range outside as long as they're undercover. Yeah. And we don't want any water getting the roof. So like a back veranda or a pergola that's enclosed, totally fine to go outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it would just get really filthy because it's got all that beautiful glass as well. You'd be constantly cleaning glass.
Yeah. Yeah. That's certainly part of it. I've seen some pretty filthy saunas on people's back decks after a decade. But you just want to look after it. Where regardless of where you put your sauna, treat it like a grand piano. Like give it some TLC and it'll look good for 15 years. You know, we regularly go out and service saunas of ours that are 12, 13 years old, you know.
Yeah. I was actually quite astounded at how quickly it was put together as well. Like it was just, the whole process was incredible from when I ordered the sauna, and I think within a week and a half I had delivery, and the guy who came to install it was amazing. He took everything out of the boxes outside. He installed it all. He took all the boxes away. I was like, this is amazing. I've actually got some other rubbish. Could you take that too?
Did he?
No. Process. Like it was just so easy, so seamless. And we are currently building a house next door, which is why there's demolition happening in the background here.
Right.
And we're going to be moving in probably about 12 months. And I said to him, so what's the process here? Can I move this on my own, or do I need someone to come and move this? And he's like, oh no, we'll just come and take it apart and move it back. And I was like, excellent. So the process has been really, really great and easy, like really easy. Everyone's been so easy to deal with and really helpful, which I think is really so important when you're making an investment here.
Look, thank you so much for sharing that, because that right there is what it's all about for me. Like getting healthy, making a serious investment in your health and putting your health first. It needs to be a fun, easy, joyous experience. And that's what we try so hard to do at iHealth, like above everything else. It needs to be great. It needs to be easy. And to hear that is just like, yeah, it really means a lot to me, but the team as well, because we all work so hard to try and deliver that experience. So I'm really happy to hear that.
the whole experience was excellent, down to the box that you get with the water bottles and the towels and the essential oils in there. It was just, I was like, oh, God, this feels so special. This is so lovely. It just felt like a beautiful experience, not just a purchase.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, we talk about complete and remarkable experience in-house at iHealth all the time. And, even down to taking the boxes and then they go back to our warehouse and we recycle the foam and we recycle the cardboard. Like, it all needs to be kind of right and done right. So I'm glad that kind of came across.
Definitely. So I did get lots of questions around energy consumption and like how much energy do they use and what's the energy bill?
Yeah. Yeah. So coming back to how the infrared works, it's very efficient at heating the body. It doesn't waste a lot of energy heating the air. So typically they're quite cheap to run. Now, depending on the model will depend on how much they cost because each model has a different rating. But typically they vary between like 30 and 45 cents to run for half an hour. They all, well, not all of them. Majority of our saunas plug into a normal power point. The 3-person full spectrum and the barrel require a 15 amp plug, but most of them go into a normal power point and treat it like plugging in an appliance. Only it uses less electricity than a jug or a toaster or something like that. So they're quite affordable to run.
Excellent. Another question I did get was around the EMFs.
Yeah. So when looking into sauna, there's a few things you want to look for. First of all, like look at the reputation of the company. People are typically looking between iHealth Saunas, Clearlight, Sunlight, and they all make really great saunas. And so that's certainly where I'd recommend looking. And then it's a matter of understanding the EMFs of whatever sauna you're looking at. You don't want high EMFs, electromagnetic fields. They play havoc with our body on a cellular level. So you want to make sure your EMFs are low, like less than 3 is the guideline. And all of those companies, including ours, have less than 3 milligauss. Bear in mind that any full spectrum heater is slightly higher. However, it's to do with proximity. So where you're sitting, it's still low EMF. And that's the same for us or for Clearlight as well. They're all low EMF, full spectrum. Yeah. So you want to make sure it's low.
Yep. And so I also got a lot of questions around costs of saunas. So obviously that's going to vary based on the range of different types of saunas. So can you give me a bit of a spectrum of lowest to highest?
Yeah, I like that spectrum. No pun intended. I'll give you the full spectrum, baby. Okay. Again, it depends on the company, right? So you can go online and buy a 3-person sauna for $1,800. Or you can buy a 3-person light range model from us for, almost 6,000. Or you can get a 3-person full spectrum from us for 9,900, right? Yeah. So it varies. Again, infrared is essentially a fundamental to health, right? When you have an infrared sauna in your life, you use it so much. There's such a broad array of benefits. And so for me, when I'm making a decision for something like that, which becomes such a ritual, it's kind of like buy it nice or buy it twice. There's so much content out there showing that infrared sauna is a really powerful health tool. It will work for you if you use it right. So I would just recommend investing in the higher end. Between $5,000 and $10,000 is going to get you an amazing quality infrared sauna. That's going to last you a long time. The only thing I'd add to that is you want to be looking at the quality of their timbers. You want to be looking at the quality of their heaters. So get them to send a wavelength report. Ask them about the EMF like we've spoken about. And then just like get a sense for the company too. Like find out what they're like for service, in the future, should something go wrong, right? Like it's a piece of tech. So sometimes things go wrong. Find out what they're like to deal with that. And then for me, it's, as I've mentioned, it's all about health education as well. So we do go above and beyond to really help educate people around the other things they can do in their health journey, which for me is critically important. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think what we're talking about here isn't a water filter bottle or something like that. Like that's something that's a long-term investment in your health, and it's an investment, sure, but I think exactly what you said. It's about choosing something that's quality and is going to last the test of time as well. Like I want something that's going to last me at least the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't want something that's going to last me 2 years and then all of a sudden it's broken, or the technology's, you know, no good anymore, or the quality's just shitty and the timber's going to crap, or all those sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I hope everyone considers when they're looking at sauna, but even just when they're looking at any big investment in general, you know. But when it's something so like important, like to do with our health, I think it's important to get it right.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to wrap up there, but thank you so much, Alex, for your time. Thanks for taking the time to chat to everyone about this. I think everyone's going to find it really, really useful, because I had so many questions, and a lot of them were really, really similar around all those sorts of things. But I think a lot of people just don't have the understanding of what infrared is and how it's different from normal sauna. And I think a lot of people have been put off as well by going into like a Finnish style sauna and feeling that discomfort and feeling really uncomfortable and thinking, oh God, I would hate to do that every single day, even though the Finnish do. My auntie's Finnish, and I remember going and visiting over there, and they had a Finnish sauna in their house, and they had a sauna like every single day. And that's just totally what they're used to in their culture. But if you don't have to be that uncomfortable, why would you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I resonate with what you're saying, and it's cool to, you know, thank you so much for having me on. Like, it's an honor I love having this conversation around sauna and just around health and helping people get excited about doing something for their health, because that's when the magic happens in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the little things that we do often, isn't it? You know, it's not just one thing that's going to be a magic bullet to anyone's health. You can't just get in a sauna once and expect that life's going to be great, or you've had a kale salad. So hashtag, you know, health. It's about the consistent things that we can do for a long time that's going to contribute to longevity and wellness, isn't it? And
yes, yeah, you're speaking my words now. It's the little things that we do every day. It's the rituals that we build. Sauna is a ritual. Getting up and meditating on gratitude for 10 minutes is a ritual. Going out for a morning walk and getting the fresh air daily is a ritual. Eating whatever it is you eat that is optimal for you is a ritual. And when we do that over time, that's when we start to see improvements in our health. That's when we start to feel more vitality and just have a better time. It's the daily things that we do. It's not the kale salad, which I couldn't think of anything worse right now. But, you know, it's the things, it's the little things that we do every day over time. That's what has the impact.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. And I will make sure I pop all of the links below to the website, the Instagram, all that sort of jazz, so people can jump over there. You guys have got so much great content on your website as well. All the FAQs are really helpful. So much great info just about the different types of saunas and all of the dimensions and everything. I did get a lot of people asking, you know, how big is this sauna or that sauna?
Yeah.
When I was wondering those things, I just went to your website, and all of the dimensions of all of the saunas are there, so that you can take a tape measure and measure up the space that you have and work out what's going to be the most suitable for you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you just go to the sauna page, pick the range you want, scroll to the bottom, it's all there. I guess just to cover that quickly, our saunas range from 0.5 meter wide up to 1.8 meters wide, and, you know, 600 deep to 1.4 meters deep. So they vary in size depending on what you want.
Yeah, but none of them are like ridiculously huge either. Like your outdoor one looks like it's fairly hefty, but indoor one, like, it's so compact yet it's so spacious inside, and it looks so pretty as well. Like, it's something that is actually such a beautiful feature to have at home. It's not something you're like, where is a corner of the room somewhere that I can hide this when no one's going to see it? Oh my gosh, stop. We're a friend's dog, and they're just feeling like they need to play right in front of me right now. So I've got going on and dog wrestling going on.
You're doing a good job hosting whilst all that's happening.
Circuit. Go. My God. Awesome. We will wrap this up. Thank you so much. I'll put all the appropriate details below, and we will talk to you very soon.